Hello teammates. Now, what if I told you today you could go from good to great with your health and fitness? And what would it mean to you if you were just a few days away from better health and fitness? If you could feel stronger, get stronger faster, build more better lean muscle mass, optimize your health completely. Well, in this video today, I'm going to be doing exactly that. I'm going to be showing you the best way, the best technique that you can implement today that is going to optimize your health so you can regain that youthful body and youthful energy that you once had. Hello and welcome to Team Talk. I'm Julia Pitsy-Kamin. I am your fast track fitness facilitator and elevating you from damaging decline to dynamic performance and unleashing your inner athlete. Now, I don't know about you, but have you ever suffered from long-term pain, or are you still suffering from long-term pain? And you've been to your doctor, you've been to your physio, perhaps you've had a massage or two, your personal trainer even, or perhaps like some of my clients, they've actually gone and had MRIs, they've had injections, you name it, they've done the lot. And no one can find a solution to their pain or their problem, their stress and tension, or whatever issues that are going on with them. I myself have been through this many, many years ago. I'll tell you a story. I went through a stage when I was getting tremendous pain across the front of my knee. And obviously I'm in the fitness industry and I had a lot of people I knew that I could go to in terms of physiotherapists, osteopaths, etc., all of who are brilliant, I would say that. But what was the downside? None of them could actually find the problem with my knee. Honestly, they examined everything I had was taped up, God knows what, I've been manipulated, massaged, exercised to death. Nothing was working. And me being a fitness enthusiast, loving going to the gym, loving being healthy and fit, it was really inhibiting how I could exercise. And I felt, it got me down. I was very frustrated with it. I felt like I was losing my fitness. And every time I felt a little bit better, I'd get back to it. I'd do a little bit of exercise, but if I pushed myself too hard, the pain would still be there, especially with things like, if I was doing squats or lunges, even things like going up and down the stairs, getting in and out of a chair, I was feeling this sharp pain across my knee, but no one could find the problem. Until one day I had a friend, we both worked in rugby together, and she took a different approach. So she kind of looked at me a little bit more globally. So she looked at the areas of my body above and below and gave me a full assessment, looking at how I moved and to find out what the problem. And it ended up, to cut a long story short, I don't want to bore you with the whole story, cut a long story short, the problem was stemming from my lower back. And obviously over the years, I found out after many years of having lower back problems that I do have degeneration in my lower back, and I had an annular tear in one of the discs, although we didn't know where that came from. But anyway, that was all causing problems within the movement and the biomechanics of my lower back, were then affecting the nerves that were actually going to my knee, and that was the problem. So the problem stemmed from my lower back. So I, every time I was getting a pain in my knee, I knew that my back was off and I had to go and get it, have physio treat it, or very often for me what worked very well was osteopathic or chiropractic treatment. And that was fine. And then I'd go back, but then it would come back again. And it was this constant, in and out, and spending a lot of money over the years on physios and osteopaths just to keep me going. But nothing was resolving itself. Now, we know that probably they're saying, the research, that musculoskeletal problems in particular, as well as mental health problems actually, are the biggest causes of people taking time out. So most people take out about 15.8 days a year, which is very significant, particularly if it's keeping you out of not only important activities for life, such as your work and things like that, and general day-to-day tasks that are needed just to survive and get by and keep a roof over your head, all those sorts of things. But it's also time away from stuff you love, or if you've got children or grandchildren, spending time and enjoying fun with them. Maybe you enjoy playing a sport and it's inhibiting your ability to play your sport as well as you like and be as competitive as maybe you'd like, and just feel really good, moving around the court or a golf course, or whatever it is that you love to do, and as well as keeping fit and healthy and feeling stronger, because all of this, makes a difference to your life and is what gives you your quality of life. And not apart from that, it's not just all those hours of physical decline, it's financial decline as well, because it's irrestrictably linked to your wealth, your ability to create wealth, and your energy and your time and all these sorts of things, and your relationships. All this is all involved in your health and fitness. Now, imagine you're losing 15.8 days a year. They averaged it out in terms of monetary terms for people, it works out around £9,000 on average per person per year. Now imagine you've got that long-term pain, 5 years plus. It's 5 years, it's £45,000. That's not an insignificant amount of money that you're losing. So it's not just affecting you physically and in terms of your health and fitness and the quality of life, your enjoyment of life, it's affecting you in your pocket as well. But is there something you can do about it? Absolutely, yes, there is. No matter what your fitness level, no matter what your age, there is something that is going to help you. And this is the good news that I am bringing to you today. And in a moment, I'm going to give you 4 stages that you need to be implementing today that is going to actually help you. So what is this? Well, it's called a corrective approach. And I actually did a previous video on it, and I've popped a link in the description for you, so you can click on and find out a little bit more about that corrective approach. And what it is, it's an approach that helps improve disruptive movement within the body. Okay, so it's what is going to make you feel better when you exercise. So it's going to correct that disruption within the muscle, in the soft tissues and around the joints. And it's quite a scientific approach to human movement. So it's going to help relieve all that muscle pain, joint pain, inflammation and stress within the body. And you'll be able to get fitter, stronger and fix all those problems that you are currently suffering from, which you do. But you would do this in line with getting a movement assessment. And it's the assessment that actually will show up where the disruption is. And that's the tricky bit, because we don't always know ourselves where there is any disruption within our movement. Sometimes we're not even aware of it. So, but the 4 stages you would need to go through if you're taking on this approach is, first of all, we need to inhibit. And inhibit talks about soft tissue release in a sense, but not in a massage sense, going and having a massage therapy, although that can obviously be beneficial. And it really is the starting point of relieving tight muscles, so what we call overactive muscles. And if you've ever had a soft tissue treatment and the therapist has maybe done what we call trigger point therapy, it's kind of a way you do it yourself using one of those foam rollers you see in the gym, those long foam rollers in the gym. But you use it slowly. I mean, very often I've seen people in the gym and they're rolling up and down their leg or the body part as if they're rolling out pastry. Well, that's not going to really achieve much. The idea is a slow movement, and you roll it up the body part till you find that sore spot, and you hold it there, and you hold it there for a minimum of 10 seconds if it's very painful, but you want to build it up to 20, 30 seconds until you feel that tenderness, that pain release. And then you would move it slowly up to the next spot, and then you'd hold it until you finished, basically. And that's part of your warm-up process, but you would only use this on what we call overactive muscles. The next stage with this, after this, is lengthening, what we call lengthening. Now, lengthening, there's lots of different ways you can use this. It's basically stretching, flexibility, and this is to help improve the range of motion around joints. And with this particular corrective approach, now there's lots of arguments about whether you should use static stretching as part of your warm-up, and I would say normally not. You would use different types of stretching, like active stretching, dynamic stretching, depending on what type of exercises you are then going on to do, you're going to proceed to do. But in a corrective approach, you do use static stretching. But the difference with the corrective approach is you only use the static stretching on those tight muscles. So the same muscles which you've used the foam roller on. And you would hold it for between 10 and 30 seconds per body part. So you wouldn't do it for the whole body. And you would use the foam rolling and the static stretching post a 5 or 10 minute warm up, whether it's on a bike, a cross trainer, whichever you prefer to use. Just help get the muscles nice and warm. Then you start relieving them so that they can create better mobility, because it's when you have the better mobility that you can then go on to start the actual core exercises, as it were. So being able to strengthen your body. Because if you have these imbalances where you have too tighter muscles and too weaker muscles, you're going to get disruption around joint motion, and that's going to cause more inflammation, which is a negative effect, especially as you get older. Because they've actually found that in people over 40, you being able to exercise at least 75 minutes, so about an hour and 15 minutes a week, just once a week, is actually going to add an extra 3.4 years to your life. Now, imagine what you can do with an extra 3.4 years to your life. And if you double it, it comes to about 4.2, I think they were saying, the research was showing. So obviously, the more you exercise, the longer your life is going to be. And wouldn't that be a benefit to all of us if you've got lots you want to do, and especially if you can be fit and healthy at the same time. And that's a double bonus in my opinion. So you want to start being able to get stronger and get better muscle. But this is the first stage. You can't just go straight into it, because you are going to have that constant cycle of pain, tension, trauma, inflammation and stress, and you don't want that. We want to get you out of that. So it's the starting point is the soft myofascial release and the static stretching on overactive muscles only. And I will stress that only, not on anything else. Now, once you've got your mobility and you're able to move better and you feel more comfortable, just body weight stuff, then you move on to what we call your activation stage. And this is where we're kind of re-educating the weaker muscles. So if you've got any weaknesses in any muscles, common ones, for instance, will be, I don't know, in a shoulder, you might have upper back. So the mid part of your upper back, so between your shoulder blades, sometimes can be weak if people are they have a very rounded shoulder. So you would be stretching out the pecs a little bit more, but you'd then be strengthening the weaker muscles, which would be between your shoulder blades, what we call the rhomboids. And then you've got lower trapezius muscles, which are that sort of bottom end, that sort of triangular end. And you'd want to have an exercise that would strengthen that. So it'd be very specific to those weak muscles. And again, it's just to re-educate the muscles and get them firing so they're able to cope with further intense strengthening exercise further down the line. Now, once you've re-educated those muscles and they're strong, you then reintroduce what we call integration exercises. Now, integration exercises are more functional and more dynamic, but they incorporate a collective group of muscles. So it would be, for example, if you've ever seen it in the gym, something like a squat to row, so you'd be using that at the same time, or you'd be stepping up and then pushing the weights above your head as in a press, so you'd be bringing the shoulders in. So it would be a full body movement, because that is just a dynamic way, and that's how we move in life, is we're using multiple amounts of muscles all at one time with normal movement. And once you've been able to achieve that effectively and optimize your movement completely, you are then ready over a period of time, and you do this progressively over a few weeks, you're then ready to go on to the next stage of more intense exercise and building that program. But you have to do it in stages. You have to progress systematically to get there. But the first stage is with this corrective approach. Now, the great thing about this corrective approach, yes, it's good for relieving pain and getting you started, particularly if you're starting, just getting out into exercise is the best place to start, or you're recovering from an injury, something like that, then it's a good place to start as well, getting you back into that. But also, even if you're quite advanced in your exercise, it's a really great way to introduce as part of your warm-up, elements of it as part of your warm-up into your full main program. So it's just going to keep you nice and strong, keep your body nice and comfortable, so then you do the other exercises more effectively and the muscles really get the benefit from it. And you're going to, like I say, get stronger, fitter, faster, which is what we all want to do. So those are my rules for getting yourself fitter and stronger, whatever stage of fitness you are, no matter whether you want to play a sport, whether you just want to feel fit and healthy, get a better quality of life and have, like I say, that youthful energy and keep that sense of strength and independence and performance that you need to have to enjoy your life. Now, I do also have a nice special offer for you. So for the first 10 people, if you want to head over to teamclinicservices.com and pop in an email and add the promotion code MOVEME, I am going to offer the first 10 people a free movement assessment. Why? Because movement assessments are the key point to understand which muscles need which piece of that protocol, those 4 stages at the right time. If you don't know how you're moving and where the disruption is, you're not going to know which bit to implement at what time. And this is key. Now, obviously, most trainers, I would think, would be able to give you some sort of assessment to check. I don't know. It depends on their knowledge or what their experience is or what they prefer to train people, how they prefer to train people, rather. But this is the key. And what I'll do within that, I'll be able to give you tips and techniques, tell you what you need to be avoiding and what you need to be implementing that is going to work best for you and get you on that, start getting you in that process of unleashing your inner athlete, because this is really important. And obviously, as we go over the weeks, I'm going to be bringing more information that's going to add to this particular issue. So, but I hope that's been of use to you. If you do just want to have some information, you don't want to do the whole movement assessment, you can still go over to Team Clinic Service and book yourself a discovery call and give you some tips and techniques and advice that I can. on that call to get you fitter and healthier after 40 and moving forward. So I hope that was helpful for you today. I really look forward to hearing from you and helping you as far as I can. But for now, have a really great day and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.